Hi everybody, it's Diana here from Wayward Cat Publishing with my latest junk journal, and this is technically Dusty Rose 2. I did a video on the first Dusty Rose journal that I did, and I call them Dusty Rose because I'm using this particular fabric that came from a comforter that I had on my bed. And I have to ask, is this journal too fat? This is how big she is, and she's just gaping, and I kind of think I'm finished with it, because if I put anything else in it, it's going to gape even more. And if somebody purchases it and then starts putting their own stuff in it, it's going to gape even more, and it just seems like it's going to be totally unwieldy. So I have to ask you if you would like to let me know what you think in the comments section, please. Is this too fat? I'm thinking I might try to experiment in making journals with either fewer signatures or fewer pages in the signatures or something. I just don't know what to do. I feel like it's too fat, but I love it. I mean, I think it's great, but I don't know how other people feel about the journals being that fat. So we'll do a flip through today. I have a new piece of paper on my desk to protect my desk from all the glue and ink. I feel so neat and tidy. At the end of this video, I will post a picture that I took of my desk as it looks when I finally finish a journal, compared to how it looks now when it's clean. All right, so this journal didn't turn out the way I expected at all. I was going to be trying to go for much more highly decorated, and I guess it's just not in me. So I just have to stick to my aesthetic and what I really like. And this is what I ended up with. I just put a little bit of lace right there, and I used sari silk ribbon to tie it. And here on the front page, this is a picture I got at a thrift store. It's very old. These are actual feathers, and someone painted the branch and the leaves. And it's it looks kind of like a cardinal to me, but I'm not positive that that was their intention. And I covered it with this vellum paper to protect it. And then I decided to add this lace at the bottom. And unfortunately, that lace at the bottom made the vellum heavy, and as you see when I close, it kind of falls that way. So that was a mistake. But I was hoping to protect the vellum from getting wrinkled, and instead I caused a little bit of a problem. But I've left it that way. I don't want to fiddle with it anymore. I put the dangly things on this page instead of on the cover this time. And I found this very old thing somewhere. I have no idea where. This is just the usual little note that I post, and just some lace and ribbon on there. And then here's our first page with a couple of layers of this really pretty lace. I probably got that from a top. Sometimes when I go to the Goodwill to look for stuff to buy and sell at my booth at Antiques and Uniques, and I'll be passing through the clothing section, and I'll see a lace top. And if it's cheap enough, I will buy it and cut it up and use it for my journaling. It's recycling in a way, so I guess it's all right. So all of the pages in this journal are either printed already, and then the blank sides are covered with something. This is covered with probably napkin. Yeah, I think that's a napkin glued on there. And with this tuck. And this, of course, all the ephemera is writing space. And this is some weird shiny cardstock that I got. So everything's sort of pink here. And then in this little lace tuck, I made a tiny little book. You know how you get these Tim Holtz ephemeras? And they're flat, and you just fold them over. And they're little books. And I added a couple of pieces of paper in there. I thought that was cute. And then this is from some collaging that I did, and I'd like to do a video of me collaging because it's so much fun. I like to watch people collaging videos, so you guys might like to watch that too. And there's an ephemera that actually holds this down. So you take that out, and this is just a little bit of a cluster there of stuff. And this is an envelope that folds out, and I tucked in an old Tim Holtz photo that you could write on the back of. And I put a pocket up there. I don't have anything in this pocket at this time. I'll leave that for the user. Or maybe I'll stuff something in it. But again, I kind of feel like I'm finished stuffing stuff in because it's already so fat. All right, and this is a shorter page. And you'll notice as we go through, every single blank page has been collaged or covered in some way. And that's one reason maybe why it's so fat, is because all the pages are thicker. In my most recent journals that I've made, I've left the blank sides blank. They're white, and I would just decorate the edges and leave them for journaling space. But I wanted an older, more, I don't know what the word is, more used look to it. And so this is what I ended up with. This is just a piece that I cut off of one of those long bookmark ephemeras. I've got some more in here. This was one of the bottom edges or top edge. Put a little lace on it. It's for a little writing space there. And then this is just some of the cardstock that I've used in the journal. In this pocket, oh, and there's also a pocket back here, it looks like. I didn't stuff anything in there. Maybe I should, to let the user know you could. But it's so fat already. Just a page for writing on. And now here I folded over this cardstock, made a vellum pocket on this side and belly band on this side. And then on the other side, this pocket is a double pocket here and here. Whoops. And these are some of the tags that I made in the last video when I showed myself making these cool tags. And this is a highly decorated pocket, which I kind of would like to do more, but again, it just really adds thickness. This is a thick butterfly here. Lace and feathers. And that's a belly band on that side too. And I left this blank, and again, I could cover this with something, but it's so fat. And here is a tuck with some writing space. I just left this blank. The user can write in here. And again, I left this blank because it's too fat. And even if the user wanted to put something in here, I just don't know. I just don't know if somebody is going to want it this fat. You have to let me know. So, covered paper clip. And then this opens, lace on the top and the bottom. And then this opens. We have this little, let's see if you can see this. Oh, we'll move it over. This opens up, and there's little tuck spaces here. And there's a tuck space here with a little something in it. I do not remember who I learned that from. I'm so sorry. I saw it on a video. I put a little flower there, a little lace and decoration there. Let me see if I can get this stuck back on while I'm on camera. Yeah, that's not too bad. And on this side, another double pocket here. Actually, it's a triple pocket because this is also a piece of ephemera. You could write on the back of that. And on this side, a double pocket with just a nice backdrop. It's another one of those tags that I made. Okay, so I left this page blank and just put a sticker on this page. More blank. Again, I don't know if I should put more in here. It'll just be so much more fat. And then a lot of the pages I covered with tissue paper. And I could do that with all of these blank pages. Like this, for example. Cover it with tissue paper. It would add a tiny bit more thickness if I did all the blank ones in tissue paper, but it would put a space for the user to write on. But I was thinking users might want to glue in their own things, and that would just make the book even fatter. So I'm not sure if I'm completely finished with this one or not. Let me know if you guys have any ideas. Should I cover all the blank pages with tissue paper? Or just leave it as it is, or what? And here is a beautiful pocket made of this lovely lace. I don't remember where I found that lace, but it's beautiful. And I covered the back of this. Somebody had written on it like it's a postcard. And normally I would leave that, but you can't really read it. I think it's in a foreign language. And I just really wanted to give the user space to write on the back of that. And this is what I put down in between the first and second signature, because I hate looking at the big blank spot. So now this is fabric that I purchased. It was on sale at Joann many years ago, and it's just this on this gauzy tulle stuff. And I think I thought I was going to make like a duster jacket with it, completely impractical, but it was beautiful. But I don't have any intention of using it that way anymore. So I cut off pieces and going to be using it in my journals. I put it on this piece of cardstock that is green. And then inside we have pockets tucked with little ephemera that you can write on, and writing space there. And there's another pocket later in the book too. All right, here's just a triple pocket. You can write on the back of all of these pieces, and another pocket made out of some beautiful lace. You can write on the back of that too. Oh, look, I think I glued some tissue paper on the back of that to lighten it up a little bit for the writing. Now this is this piece of cardstock. It was blank, but I have glued a napkin on it. And the other side of the napkin, you'll see, has some flowers. So it's not collaged, but it is covered, but it makes a nice writing space. And again, here, I could cover this with tissue paper or leave it the way it is. Same with this one, but see, we've got a bit of poetry on that one. Somebody could write in the margins and write here. And here we've got a little pocket and a deeper pocket. And these are all blank on the side, the other side, so you can write on it. And this is glued on, and it's a flip. It flips out, and I put a little picture. This picture didn't come with this frame. I put them together. I don't know where I got the frame. And I found the picture probably at a thrift shop. Some of the thrift shops have bags of old photos and stuff like that that you can purchase. Again, left those blank. Lots of blank because I'm afraid to put more stuff in it. I'm afraid it'll just get fatter and fatter and fatter. I honestly do not know if this is practical. This is the other side of the napkin with the pretty flowers there. Okay, and here is a flip up. It's just a cardstock piece with a bit of lace put there. Writing space. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, there I did a little cluster. This is the fabric on the cover, a little paper leaf and paper flower. Whoops, it pulled off. And then a tiny bit of that green lace from here. Or glued across it. I almost said taped. And I put some washi tape, speaking of tape, here because it seems so delicate. Like if you flip it open and close too often, it might rip. And this is covering up the other side of an envelope. And I covered the front of the envelope with this really beautiful paper. And you flip out. I put a sticker and this old photograph I got. And I put on the back of it a piece of paper for writing and some ephemera. And this is some little tea bag, used tea bag. Oh, let me put that in this way. But again, blank here. And this, of course, adds quite a bit of bulk to it, but I put in this paper bag, a bit of a paper bag. I covered the top, inside and out, with some cardstock to make sure it wouldn't rip too easily. Put a sticker on it, and tucked into it is another little journal that I made. Lots of writing space in there. But it does make the whole journal much fatter. But of course I put it in this section here between signatures, thinking it would fill up that section because I don't like the gape. Here's writing space. And I put a sticker here. It's a cute little girl with a doll. Let me make sure I'm still in camera. Good. Lace here. I got a lot more lace recently. I'm enjoying using them on the edges. I love when it's on the edges of your pages. I could cover this with tissue, and this is just a piece of paper here for writing. And see, that's what I thought I could do with all of these pages. But the more you put in, the bigger and fatter it's going to be. Here is a corner pocket. And here is a cascading waterfall of paper to write on. Nothing there. And then this is the middle of a signature. And while we're here, I'm going to talk about the signatures. I like to tie my signatures on the spine. And then I glue down the burlap and the knots so that I think it's holding the signatures in. And then I glue the cover on. But before I glue the cover on and the burlap, I work with the book for a while, and the signatures inevitably loosen up. And then I tighten them, and then I glue on the burlap and the cover. Well, this time, the signatures loosened up again. So this book has a lot of glue in between the signatures and washi tape and stuff to try to keep them from coming loose again. It's very frustrating. So from now on, I am going to tie my signatures with the knot in the inside of the book so that the user can, if the signature comes loose, they could pry open the knot and tighten it. Actually, I don't see how that would work. It might work. I'll try it. The reason I think it might not work is because there will still be glue on the spine of the book holding that part of the signature thread. But yeah, you should be able to tighten up the other thread and tie the knot tighter. But I just find that very frustrating, and I hate to think of somebody's book falling apart as they're using it and looking at it. So I hope that doesn't happen. Okay, and on this side I have another pocket, and you see we're in the middle now. It's harder to open all the way. Here's just some paper for writing on. It's actually a page from, it looks like a telephone address book. But that can be written on. And then there's a pocket back here, and you can write on the back of that. And one of the tags that I made here, it's got a little leaf charm on it, and that is in the front tuck. Put that in. Oof. And then this was just a piece. If you look real carefully, you can see this is a piece of tape that you pull off of a package or a box. If there's enough tape been put on that box, when you pull it off, it's thick, and you can even see the lines of threading in that particular tape. And I used it for a tuck space or a whatever you call those kind. I covered it with some lace, some ephemera, this little kid, and this bit of tea bag paper, and it is a pocket. Well, looks like I might need to do some more gluing down up here, or just leave it loose like that. I'll think about it. I think I'm going to leave this out here like that to remind me to go back and decide what I want to do with that. All right, more blankness. Again, this has, actually, I see I glued on these bits of paper for writing space on that one. And here's just a piece of paper glued on. I left this so you could flip it up. I don't know why. I could put a pocket there, but again, we're so thick already. I think this is the next one with some pretty pink lace. This is covered with some napkin and some collaging. Still some writing space there. And here is in between these signatures. I could put something in here like I like, but it will add even more bulk. But I can see it's dark in there, and that's where a lot of glue has been put. So I don't know, I may still put something there, I may put tissue paper here, or I may just leave it, I just don't know. Tissue paper on that, writing space there, and here's the other envelope, or it's not really, I'm sorry, it's just cardstock folded over like a card, and I put more of that fabric on, and then inside, pockets. And I did cover this with a bit of tissue paper to make it a little lighter. No, I can't tell. Maybe I didn't. It looks light enough that you could write on it. And writing space there. Let me make sure I'm still in camera. Good, good. I think there's enough writing space on that page. But this is left blank. And then this, you can tell, is just a piece of cardboard I made into a pocket. There's some of that, a tag that I made, and I just glued ephemera all over that pocket. There's a little picture that I got somewhere. That's really cute. I love it. And I love the button. Boy, do buttons make your journal fat. This is the only stenciling I think I did in this journal. Didn't do any stenciling or stamping except that. Okay, so this is an in-between, and I just glued these bits of vellum for writing on just down in the center and left the other part blank. Another cascading waterfall of paper. I don't know where yeah, it cascades. Covered with that weird piece of freezer paper that's got tea dye all over it. And it's covered up there with some lace. Blank. And here's another tag I made. Just in this little corner pocket. And here's another triple 1, 2, there's 4, quadruple pocket with just some ephemera in it. You could write here and see, you'd still be able to see part of the poems. This could be covered or something could be put there. Here's a little cluster, more of the cover fabric with a little bit of that tulle fabric that I put on the cardstock, like that. And then this is some tissue paper glued there for writing. Here is another beautiful piece of lace that I turned into a pocket. Put this really pretty piece of ephemera in it. I don't know where I got that, but it's really pretty. Okay, I did nothing here. Again, I could cover that with tissue paper. And here is another little covered paper clip. And this folds out. A little bit of ephemera in here. You could write on the back of that. And then this opens up with writing space. And that holds all of that. Let's see if I can get that back on. Good. And this is the center. Oh, I'm sorry, between two signatures, which I covered again, because I don't like the gaping space. This has got plenty of writing space. Covered that part with tissue paper. There's a pretty sticker there. This is just a little cluster there. Some napkin and ticket and some lace. And this is a bit more of the lace that I used at the bottom here. I like to reuse stuff to make it kind of, I don't know, consistent or flowy. And there's another one of the tags that I made. It gets harder putting them in when you're pulling back on it. Here's some writing space. There's another little piece of that cool fabric. Oh, there's another feather. More of the cover fabric. And here, as you see, I glued some paper on this one for writing space, which, you know, I could do to the other ones. But even though it's very thin paper, it's going to add bulk. And here is just, this was a little tag, but I just glued it to the edge to make it like a tab. And put that little flower on there. This is covered with tissue paper for writing. Another pocket back here. That's just a piece of decorative paper, but it's light enough on the back that you could write on it. And I left all of this. Again, I could do more with it, but I am worried about adding more bulk. What have I got here? Oh, that's just a little bit stuck. I have considered gluing 2 pages together to make a pocket. But again, you make a pocket, you put things in the pocket, the journal gets bigger. This is some cloth ribbon that I have. And here I just glued a little bit of burlap edge to that piece of paper. And glue a little flower on there. There's a pocket with another old photograph. You can write on the back of that. Here's just a simple cluster with fabric from the cover and a button. And here I glued tissue paper. And here I just put a flower on that page. A little bit of ephemera and some crocheted lace there. I left that blank, and I left this blank. What do you think? This is if I squeeze it, but this is normal, and I like it. But is it practical? Either way, I think I will try to make some smaller ones. But I will still put it in my booth at the Antiques and Uniques, and we'll see. And I tell you what, if I have any that don't sell after a while, maybe I'll set up an Etsy shop or a little shop on a website or something and sell them. But for right now, they're just in my booth at Antiques and Uniques. Well, I'm going to show you the picture now of my desk when I finished this journal. And now I've got my phone in my hands. I'm going to show you a bigger view, I'm trying, of my clean desk. Much cleaner, much nicer. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.